Radio, where you will learn the benefits and your rights to live a barefoot lifestyle. And now, here to empower you and dispel the myth of going barefoot, is a full-time barefooter of over 15 years and veterans legal advocate, your host, Nick Pierce. Well, hello and welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Barefoot is Legal Radio Show here on the Freedomizer Radio Network. And for those of you that may not know, yes, I am your host, Nick Pierce, back with you again for our brief time together this weekend. And for those of you that may not know, I'm also a full-time barefooter of over 15 plus years. I got rid of the last pair of anything that goes on my feet 12 years ago. I'm also the head of NP Media Group, where I also did a radio show called The Business of Arts, Music, and Entertainment for a few years, where I empowered up-and-coming artists to enhance and advance their music careers. I'm also a victim legal advocate, standing up for the human rights that we as barefooters have, and the new head of the BIL Legal Services Department. Now, many of you may have different reasons for going barefoot. For some of you, it may be for religious reasons, some of you for cultural, others for health or medical reasons. Even though our reasons are different, there are people out there that think that there are laws, policies, rules, regulations, or even dangers about being barefoot in public. Well, whatever your reasons, call in, share your stories, experiences. What reasons and issues do you have? If you want to be a part of the show today, the call-in number, 319-527-6208. Press 1 to be on the air. And in our live chat room, we have that going now at freedomizerradio.com. Feel free to join us there. And also check out the website, barefootislegal.org, on Facebook, our Barefoot is Legal group. And if you're interested in becoming a member, feel free to join. It is a closed community. And we also have our business page, Barefoot is Legal. Now, if you do decide to join our Facebook closed group, keep in mind, this is not a fetish community. So for all you heavy-breathing fun seekers out there, this is not a place to get your rocks off on foot pictures. No. We are here to educate, empower you, and help spread the message that being barefoot is legal. And with that said, now it's time to kick off your shoes if you're wearing them or still have any at all, and enjoy the next hour and a half of time that we have together. You see, medical issues are one of the biggest reasons people are barefoot, and also one of the most misunderstood. See, it wasn't until the mid-1980s when it became a thing for, disability awareness and handicap awareness. And, people have hidden disabilities often. Sometimes people with hidden disabilities don't feel that they belong in the disability community because it's not obvious. It may not be, they're walking in canes and being wheeled around in wheelchairs, but that is possible. And 2 weeks ago, in our brief time together, I was talking about the health benefits and childhood development and how being barefoot is recommended by most medical studies and research that has been done by many medical professionals. And the medical studies really did prove that these benefits and even education in school helped improve learning. And I'm not going to go too far back into it. You can always check out the archives there on Freedomizer Radio. If you missed anything, feel free to catch up. But I did touch on the optimum foot development occurred in, barefoot, that occurs in a barefoot environment, and also how footwear in younger children end up causing certain deformities, weaknesses, and loss of mobility. Now, we can go back through the statistics that we were talking about a couple weeks ago, but just to summarize it, if you did miss anything and how this ties into this week's episode and our special guest, today our special guest, there have been a lot of studies and many research have found that folks with autism also have sensory issues and are more comfortable without shoes and other restrictive clothing. And I also touched on autism a few weeks ago in a previous episode, and we had a guest even on about 2 months ago with a son that has autism, and it really helps them when they're not wearing shoes, and it's the only way they can really be high functioning. Now, I know that a lot of you will talk about earthing and different techniques. Now, have you ever felt the static shock when touching the door or taking off a wool hat? See, there's a positive discharge, and earthing helps discharge that. So when people have autism, they end up feeling more in tune and discharging some of that energy. And it really helps with some of the anxiety and other difficulties in social situations that they may have. Now, I'm no expert on this. This is just some limited research that I've done. But today on our show, we have a special guest, Tyler Leach. He's a young man with high-functioning autism. He was okay with being barefoot up to 5th grade, but he stopped and ended up wearing sandals and always wore socks from about 2004 to 2013, as I understand it, even in the winter. He heard about Angie B. Holtz, and he'll talk a little bit more about that as well. It's a former barefoot runner, and he dedicated it to walking around and then eventually got hooked on it. He even got some of his friends and service providers to walk barefoot with him. Now, he created a Barefoot Autism Challenge, and I want to bring him on right now. He's our special guest of the day, and we're going to get him out here, get him live in the studio here. Tyler, how are you today?
Doing good, Nick. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, welcome to the Barefoot is Legal radio show. And how are you this weekend?
Doing good. I'm getting ready to order lunch at Culver's right now, but I still got time to chat.
Well, great. And, yeah, we're glad to have you on the show. And you're doing first of all, in your intro, you talked about an Angie B. Holtz. Is that the name?
Yes. Also known formerly as Barefoot Angie B. She at one time lived in Iowa up until 2013, and I heard about her, and I found her son has autism as well, and I got curious about it, and I tried barefoot walking, and it just got me to where I am now.
Interesting. Now, how old are you, if you want to share that with our listeners?
23 right now, going to be 24 come April.
24 in April. And the now, as far as the autism and barefoot lifestyle, tell us a little bit about your degree of autism. Why don't we start there?
Yeah, my autism is high functioning. Been diagnosed since I was 22 months, and I actually was talking before I was diagnosed, and then I lost my language for a little while, and eventually I got it back, and I'm pretty talkative, though sometimes it's hard for me to get a word in now. I've made such a big impact.
Wow. And then I know in your intro you were saying that you were barefoot or, up until 5th grade. And what changed that?
I don't know. I think it may have had something to do with, like, the fact that I went to high school that did technology education and whatnot, or maybe it was the fact that it was the sandals were a bit out of style for me for some reason, but whatever it is, I just didn't even wear sandals from that time period. Only socks, and even in the summer, the only time I have been barefoot was mostly at places like the pool or when I go to bed or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And how does that tie into the autism that you have? Like, is it like
well,
you feel
I
less
guess
restricted, or is it a stimulus thing, or?
In part, it may have had something to do with like the sensory issue and whatnot, though mostly that would tie into like textures of food and whatnot. And I didn't think it was all safe at the time, but now I embrace it.
Great. So you've been, so I guess now you started doing this. You've been barefoot then full time, or majority of the time, or part time?
Well, a vast majority. I mostly wear shoes when I'm at work or when it's necessary, and I don't actually have back pains while wearing shoes, even while doing Special Olympic sports.
That's great. So you compete in the Special Olympics too?
Yes. In fact, you're talking to a 13-time gold medalist.
Wow. In what sport? That's great.
Some were in basketball, some in golf, some in softball.
That's great. How many of each in each sport do you have medals in? Or
basketball being the most.
Okay, so basketball's the sport of choice then?
Yeah, in fact, I have a state tournament in Iowa City coming up in March.
Oh, great. And so basketball seems to be the big thing, but how'd you cross over into golf? That's a big change.
Well, started in like '09. I did it with my dad, and I'm actually pretty good at it.
Okay, great. And
my dad has been golfing for years.
So that's where the influence came from then, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now you do the Special Olympics. I mean, you got 13 gold medals, which is amazing. I can't believe that. How long have you been competing in that? In all
Since
sports?
I was about 8 years old.
8 years. Wow.
And that's the minimum age that you can compete, as far as I know.
Wow. That is great. So then, as far as, and you said it's basketball and golf, and I'm sorry, what was the other one?
Softball. The rules in it are very different compared to baseball and regular softball. One strike and one ball right from the get-go, and if the ball hits a carpet around home plate, that counts as an out.
Got it.
I mean, a strike.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Now, in the sports, do you play barefoot, or do you wear the
No
cleats or anything
Even
like that?
if I wanted to, I would think that during the heat of softball, my feet would probably get burned. And besides, my coach kind of called it quits on account of the team having a busy life for all the members.
Got it. So you say that the shoe thing and the barefoot thing, there's different sensory issues that come with it. So when you're barefoot,
yes.
I guess the sensory experience is different?
Yeah, you could say that, and that's part of the focus on the Barefoot Autism Challenge I'm doing.
Got it. You want to tell our listeners a little bit about that? You have a
Yeah.
challenge going on, and that's in April?
Yes, Erica Riley was the first person on Barefoot is Legal to share the challenge with everyone. The main purpose is like having people post a video or picture on social media of them walking barefoot in different areas that they choose, and then share what advocating for someone with autism means to them.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of sensory issues with autism, like sounds and sight, even smells. And I heard that sometimes people with autism can even smell colors. I don't know why.
Wow. That actually sounds kind of cool. I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah, and weird at the same time.
So as far as the sensory experience that you have, and you said that going barefoot helps with that, what, like, is it just more of like being connected or being
like being connected and calm and all of that.
Okay. So you said you work. You said you have a job.
Yeah, I work at Wells Fargo full time.
Okay. What do you do there, if you don't mind me asking, or if you want to share?
I'm an operations processor. I analyze merchants and see if their credit's in good standing, but I can't say what businesses I have set up because
well, of course,
it's a formality thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad I met you. Maybe you can slide me through the cracks then.
Yeah.
Believe me, being a talk show host, my credit is terrible. So good to know. Now I have a connection.
Yeah.
So you say high functioning. There are different degrees. I mean, for our listeners that may not know.
Yeah, there's low functioning, high functioning, and also severe, which is almost like some people on the severe form of autism can't really communicate much.
Okay.
And need a lot of help with some things. And sometimes people with autism repeat things over and over and in a way almost obsess about it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Got it. So from what I understand, it was from what you explained, from 2004 to 2013 was like a SOC period of yours.
Yes. It was for a time what I felt most comfortable with.
Okay. And then you made the transition over to the barefoot lifestyle, and you found that to help?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that? You said it was Angie B. was the one that inspired that, or? Okay.
Yes, and she has a son with autism, and she's also taking part in my challenge.
Got it. Now, for your challenge, what inspired this challenge for you? I mean, obviously the autism thing, but...
Well, it originally started as like a specific thing for a group called the Barefoot Runner Society, which Angie is a member of, or was a member of. And then the head honcho of BRS, who goes by the name of Barefoot TJ, created a Facebook page for it, and she asked me to share it with some friends of mine, and I didn't know if it would catch on with some of my friends, even the ones that do like walking barefoot, but I did, and they were very supportive of it.
That's great. And so how long has the challenge been going on, or is this its first year?
It's its first year.
First year. And that's...
In fact, the mission statement said inaugural.
This is the birth of it right here. And is there a website or anything that our listeners can go to? Or you said there's a Facebook group or Facebook page for it?
Yeah. Go to Facebook and type in Barefoot Autism Challenge, and you should see the logo for it. And we also have a Zazzle store where I can provide it to you to put in later on if you like. But they have products with the BAC logo on it and everything. And the purchases for all those products will be donated to the Autism Society of Iowa, of which yours truly just might become a board member for.
Great. So you're a board member now for them?
Not yet. The voting won't take place until March 1st.
Okay. And then for the Autism Challenge, now how long does that last? Is it just like a day or a week?
Actually, the whole month of April, because April is Autism Awareness Month. And that way people can post as little or as much as they choose.
Okay. And then there's, are there other organizations that are doing this, or is it?
Well, I know the Autism Society of Iowa is in on it. And some of the members of BRS are doing it, but I don't know any other organizations. But the more advertising you do, the better.
Of course. And how has the general public been receptive to the challenge? I mean, people outside the autism community, or even people outside the Barefoot community.
Well, the Facebook page has got 167 likes so far. That's something. Even a friend of mine who competed in Miss America shared it.
Oh, wow, great. This is getting quite a bit of exposure.
Yes, it is, for the first time.
Yeah. And that's really good for a first run, I mean, typically, something starts and then it takes maybe a year or two for it to catch on, as long as it's consistent and it's always there.
And I'm keeping the Zazzle store open because TJ thought that the Autism Society of Iowa could benefit from the purchases.
Of course. And we have that website. It's zazzle.com.
Yes.
And then /BAC _2007 _ And the listeners that are in our chat room, I posted that link, as well as a link to the Facebook page for the Barefoot Autism Challenge.
And there's also a Twitter page, too, for those of you who don't have Facebook or want to be connected both ways.
Mm-hmm. And what's that one?
And I believe it's Barefoot Autism, mostly because of the fact that Barefoot Autism Challenge was too long of a name.
Yeah, I think for Twitter that would be a little long. And Barefoot Autism, it shortens it up. It's a little more recognizable.
Yes.
All that. Well, we're coming up to the top of the hour. Do you want to stick around with us? Maybe we have some questions from some listeners, and you can talk a little more about your challenge when we come back after a brief commercial break?
I'd love to, but right now I'm getting ready to order my food from Culver's right now. But if you have questions, you could email me at barefootautismchallenge@gmail.com.
Okay, great. We'll definitely get that out there. And we also have links on our chat room with Freedomizer Radio. And check that out. And also the Facebook page. There's links to the challenge as well. Tyler Leaks, thank you for being with us on the Barefoot is Legal radio show this afternoon. When we come back, questions from our callers and answering some emails and more about the health benefits of autism and barefooting. Be right back.
How would you like to make your work more enjoyable, be more creative and relaxed, all while sitting at your desk? That's exactly what my Serenity rug has done for me. This revolutionary footrest, I can't even call it a footrest because this thing encourages movement of your feet, which results in more blood flow. While traditional footrests advocate the motionless placement of your feet, I found that I'm unconsciously digging my feet into the long, soft grass strands of the Serenity rug. It delivers an incredibly relaxing sensation that closely resembles the feeling of an exotic foot massage. If you have ever had a foot massage that made you want to stay there for hours, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not heard about the Serenity Rug, check them out at serenityrug.com and join the exclusive Serenity Rug community and enjoy a feeling of comfort and relaxation that most will never experience. They've sold out before, so I suggest you do your feet a favor and grab one of these. Again, that's serenityrug.com.
Hi everyone, here is a sponsor that you can help save yourself some money and find new places to check out. Save Around is a very popular coupon book throughout most major U.S. cities. With Save Around, you get buy one, get one free restaurants, discounts on many department stores, car rentals, flowers, etc. With Save Around, you not only fund our network, you help fund your family and save yourself some money while eating out. I have a family of 4. A decent meal is upwards of $60 for us, and if I could save $10 to $15 while taking out the family, I am very happy. You can view these books in your area before buying. Please check out freedomizerradio.com and our barefootislegal.org website for the link. Check out the new book, click on your city, and in a few days you will be saving yourself some cash with your new Save Around book.
You know the Constitution like the back of your hand. You've read books, listened to podcasts, attended lectures, surfed websites, and watched videos. You've made liberty your life's goal, but something seems to be missing. Stickers from LibertyStickers.com. Exercise your freedom of speech with the world's most dangerous bumper stickers. That's LibertyStickers.com. But wait, there's more. You can buy Liberty Stickers wholesale. Get them for 99 cents each when you put 100 or more in your shopping cart in any combination. Sell them or give them away. They're great for gun shows, flea markets, fairs, outreach, and more. Earn extra money, promote freedom, and spread the word. Need custom stickers, labels, or decals for your organization or business? Liberty Stickers makes them. Go to LibertyStickers.com to order or call 877-873-9626. LibertyStickers.com, the world's most dangerous stickers.
Got a spare tire around that waist? Is your muffin top over the top? Do you binge eat uncontrollably? We are the government and we are here to help you. Here at our free FEMA weight loss camp, we have numerous ways to help you shed those unsightly, unwanted pounds. FEMA, or Fatties Eating Mitigated, automatically has a communist-style weight loss czar that specializes in centralized weight loss planning and communal extended fasting programs to shed that fat away in no time. Skin and boned means extra toned is the motto. Just remember, there is no way you can do it on your own. We will forcefully assist you into compliance. Failure is not an option in this utopian wonderland. How fantastic. Typical workout regimes include digging ditches and restocking them with dirt, building railways and more. Get life skills while you get lean. How do you join? Simple. Recite the Constitution in a public commons or violate the Patriot Act that includes simple misdemeanors. It's really that easy to get your own fenced-in slice of Americana. Stop being a fatty. The state is your daddy.
And welcome back to the Barefoot is Legal radio show. If you want to be a part of it, 319-527-6208. We had our special guest, Tyler Leach, who is doing the Barefoot Autism Challenge. And glad to have him on the air to share that with us. And we also have, now after the top of the hour, we have a couple callers. But first, of course, we cannot forget about our very own Proof. And he's in the co-host seat with me today. So, Proof, welcome back to the show. And kicking off our Saturday episode here, how's it been going in your neck of the woods?
I've just been busy trying to get the word out about our challenge next month, that's all.
Yeah, we have a challenge too. Want to talk about that for a little bit?
No, why would I want to do that?
I don't know. I think, we got a radio show. We have something we got cooking. We can fill the airwaves with a little bit about our own challenge too.
No, that's cool. No, that's expected. Otherwise, it's not worth coming on the radio sometimes if you can't promote what you're doing. So
that is true.
With that in mind, the end of March, the 3-day weekend, we're doing the hashtag I Did It Barefoot Challenge. And
that's awesome.
We're going to empower everyone to go to at least one place without shoes and take a selfie or a video and post it so that businesses know that, one, that it's legal, and two, that people want to do this. They just think that laws exist. So if we can get the word out, then obviously we'll grow and more businesses might take us a little more seriously because they'll be making money.
Yeah. That's really what businesses are all about anyway, so, we were talking about
Starbucks,
I think,
they don't care.
Well, that's true. Yeah, Starbucks just doesn't care. But, for the most part, a majority of the businesses do, and that's one of the main reasons why we're here is to empower our members and our listeners to know that being barefoot is legal and that we have rights. And, I say at the beginning of every episode, everybody has different reasons for going barefoot, whether it's cultural, medical, religious, health, personal choice, and all that. There are laws that protect us, and this challenge is great for it.
No, I think so, and I've been working on trying to send press releases to. I'm starting all the weekly entertainment type of publications. I don't want to do the daily newspapers yet. I'm looking at the weeklies first because they're not run as often, so you have to get that in earlier than the daily papers. The daily ones you could do 2 days ahead. They'll find a way if they're interested. But the weekly ones, sometimes you got to do stuff like 2 or 3 weeks ahead.
Yeah, they'll sometimes have a layout and stuff ready to go, and especially, what the good thing about the weeklies, when you start with the weeklies, is that there's more exposure for it out there. So if you have something that's in a paper for a week, it, the reach is a lot better because it's not just in there for one day and it's gone the next.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at some point I'll have to hit up the AM radio stations. Maybe the FMs too, they have TV shows radio shows in the morning and stuff like that. So I'm trying to see what we can do. I don't expect if say we hit 500 different publications, I'm not expecting 500 responses, but if we can get even 10%, which would be 50 media outlets, I would take that because that's 50 different markets that we didn't get a chance to hit earlier. So if we can get people finding us that way, that's good because our Facebook reach can only go so far anyway. So we're only allowed 5,000 friends plus whatever groups we're in, and we need to expand our reach and to be able to reach everyone out there.
Yeah, definitely. And, press releases are great. It really gets the word out there. You hit one local paper, and then eventually you'll have other papers that'll pick up on the story. They'll read it, and then you'll find that daily newspaper that wants to run an article on it closer to the time frame. So
right, and you know what's funny, though, too, Nick, is that when people post stories on this, it's funny. You go back and read an article on us that's in a newspaper, and it becomes a huge topic with tons of people commenting back and forth, and it's like a firestorm for some reason. You might have 200 comments. 100 will be for us, and 100 will be people that can't stand people like us.
Yeah.
So it almost presents a Jerry Springer show kind of effect.
But it's when you look at articles, no matter what the content of it is, it's 100 to 100 either way. It doesn't even matter what the topic is. It could be something about sports cars for kids. It could be something about LGBTQ. It could be something about politics. It could be something about one particular group of people. It could be one school's policy over another's. It could be, people, they'll have 100 for something and 100 against something, no matter what it is, even if they're talking about a radish versus a turnip. I mean, it's just, we can't let it discourage us. Even though we're the particular group of people that are under fire at that moment, look at it like no matter what the topic is, you're always going to have that. No matter what it is and what group of people, and no matter what the organization is.
Well, and I'm not afraid of having 15 people in a row slam me, so I guess I'm the right person for the job.
Yeah, I have some pretty tough skin too, so it's kind of hard to.
Like we said, there out of 100 people, 50 will say yes and 50 will say no, and sometimes you might have 22 people in a row say no. It's not a big deal because the law of averages still will be around at the end of the day. Just like if you flip a coin and you get tails 5 straight times, it doesn't mean that all 100 times you're going to get tails.
Exactly. And you know what? The more people that may not like it, the more people talking about it too. Because it's normally the people that complain. I'm sorry?
I said, but I ain't never scared anyway.
Yeah. No, you can't let it scare you either. But I mean, if 100 people hate it and they're talking about it and complaining, which is typically what most people will do anyway, they'll just sit there and complain. And that's more people talking about it. And eventually people that support it will hear it. Because they're going to wonder what this guy's complaining about. Most of the time people that support something or they like something, it's like a negative versus a positive review. You have so many negative reviews. It's not until you hit a bone with someone that they're going to start writing something about it or saying something about it. As opposed to someone that had a great experience, that's normal. They're supposed to have a great experience. They're supposed to like what they read. They're supposed to like the topic or something like that. So it's, hey, I don't mind. A little negative publicity is good publicity because it's better than no publicity at all, the way I look at it.
Well, and then you get the people that try to tell us how much better they are than us because they don't support us. I'm not worried about that, but they'll tell us that things like, well, I wear flip-flops everywhere because I'm afraid I might drop something on myself.
Yeah, and we go back to that invincible thong where a little piece of plastic or leather or string is going to, keep bricks from falling on your head.
Right.
Or your file cabinet.
But in positive news, we've had over 100 new members in the last 7 days.
I saw that. That's great. I saw that post too. I'm like, wow, that's a great thing. 100 people just coming in.
Yeah, so all it takes is a few people who are new that reach out and they post a meme on their Facebook wall. And they have friends come out of everywhere that say, yeah, I would do it if I knew it wasn't against the law. And then you teach your friends there, the new members, to, well, if they say that, then you show them our website and you give them the link to our group, and people will find us, and they're happy to find us, and then they learn more. There's no sense in just keeping this information to yourself.
No, of course not. And it's.
Go ahead. That's fine.
Oh no, I was just about to say, in conjunction with what you're saying, it's one of those things where you have a, community of people that when these folks that join say they thought it was illegal or they would do it if they thought it was legal, but yet you have so many posts from so many members having positive experiences, posting where they've gone, conversations they've had with different businesses, promoting the fact that, hey, yes, this is legal and there is, no rules, no laws against it. So even the support that people coming in for the first time see is great to show them. And I posted links in our chat room there.
One of my ways that I do my memes is I try to provoke conversation. I'm basically, a lot of times I will try to make it neutral or slightly in our favor. I'm not going to post things that would be 100% for us because I want to pull that conversation out of people.
Yeah.
I want people to say things and either be positive or if they're negative, I really want them to come out so that they look like fools. I had one person, Nick, tell us that the reason why it's illegal to not drive a car barefooted would be because a bee can get in the car and sting your foot, and then you would go spiraling out of control.
I should probably wear goggles for that, just in case they sting me in the eye.
Yeah. But it's just funny how that's the only body part that people worry so much about. When you go, say you're in a candy shop and you're putting 2 pounds of Raisinets in your bag, nobody's saying, "Oh my gosh, you're doing that without a surgical mask on." You could breathe on your candy.
Yeah, and
well, we don't know where your hands have been, and a ceiling tile could fall on your head, and you're not even wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
You might bang your elbow on the glass counter. Where's your elbow pads?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or even a dust mask to keep the peanut allergies out of your mouth. For those with peanut allergies, if they walk by peanut butter or peanuts and all that. Yeah. They need to have dust masks on around there too. Respirators, gas masks.
Respirators.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah. They should hand those out right there at the nut bin.
Well, the nut bin, I guess, goes hand in hand.
Yeah, no, not the management office, but the one where the peanuts are. Yeah, that bin of nuts that come up with the crazy, silly insanity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have over 100 new members, and we've had weeks where we've had 1,000 members come in at a time, and I know we had our slow season in December and January. In February we're back on track again. So there's a reason why we're now the number one group for our market. We're the number one as far as members, and we have a business page with 11,000 plus, and of course the group with 8,000, and combined with unique names, it's just over 17,000 because some people are in both. And
yeah.
I think we're doing swell.
Yeah, I mean we're growing, and I think at the end of last year we were almost at 7,000. I think it was.
At the end of 2016, in mid-November, we hit 7,900, and we were there until February. So it took us 2 months to get that last 100 people, and then since then we're at over 8,100 now in the group.
And the group is going to grow a lot faster now that the weather's warming up. See, it's in the winter, even the activity slows down a little bit. As far as posts, as far as people going out and experiencing it. A couple weeks ago, maybe almost a month or two by now, all it runs together after a while. But the people start when the weather gets nice. And it's that transition that I was talking about once, where, the spring weather leads to conditioning for the warmer and the hotter summer weather, and then the summer weather leads into the fall, and that helps condition you for the colder seasons. So whereas a lot of people have been, we had a slow increase in numbers, but yet they start taking off their shoes, they start experiencing what we talk about every week. And hopefully they'll begin to realize that now this transition and the body gets used to it and adjusts and adapts as the seasons change, whereas now we have some long-term Barefoot members that got into the lifestyle going into the winter, as opposed to just starting cold turkey, literally cold, and just taking off their shoes in the middle of December or snowstorm somewhere.
Well, I mentioned in our group a few months ago that, December, January, and to a lesser extent February is our slow season, and I wanted to spend that time redefining what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so important to grab members as long as we weren't losing, and we lost quite a bit due to the election for some stupid reason where people can't keep politics out of our group.
Yeah.
And other than that, we lost 200 or 300 members because I posted in there that we're apolitical. We don't follow politics here. And unfortunately, we had people that said, well, if even one person in here voted for Trump, I can't be in here. So good luck going to a mall or a shopping center or an airport where you have 100% of the people that did not vote for that particular candidate.
Yeah, that's sad, because I'm sure that someone, someone that voted for Trump made their toilet paper, so maybe they just stopped wiping their asses now.
Who knows? But anyway, we're out of the woods on that, I hope, and we're back to growing. And I want to see what kind of difference we can make. And I'm always sitting here concocting things that people can share. Because if you share a picture for our challenge, then I guess the way some people look at it is they're afraid of getting yelled at by family or friends for their thoughts. So if you share something that's somewhat neutral, then you can post that and not feel ashamed of yourself. So the I Did It Barefoot challenge, that's a challenge that somebody made up. I mean, it's me, but people on Spybook don't know that, I guess. So they'll share it to their friends and they'll share it to theirs, and they're like, hey, want to do it? This sounds cool. Knowing in their head they already want to, they're just afraid of getting yelled at.
Yeah, but if they have a cool hashtag to share, then everybody will jump on board with it probably, because then there's a cool little hashtag.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a meme that I've shared, and I get our new members to share. It's two people shopping in a store, and it asked, would you go barefoot if it was more socially acceptable? And you get people that say yes and people that say no, and that's okay, because the people that say yes, all we have to do is ask them if they've heard of us before. The people that say no, we just leave them alone. You don't have to spend your waking time trying to convince somebody. Either they are or they're not. So if somebody says no, then I'm not going to talk to them. They can find us on their own. I'm not going to waste their time for mine.
Yep. They can go, and they can go join a subscription club for shoes then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they're out there.
Well, remember, it's a niche market. I don't think people are better or worse. It's just that I want to find like-minded people. I'm not here to prove to somebody on a computer screen that we're better than them. That's not how it works. We have to get organized and round up everybody that believes the same way that we do, so that we can organize and the more people that tell their friends. We have new people that come in and they share a meme and they bring in 7 or 8 people. And if everybody did that, we would be flying super high at this point.
Yeah. And, again, it's a closed group. So for people that want to join, if you want to be a member of the Barefoot is Legal group on Facebook, it's a closed group. So that's the place to share your stories, get the support, and we have folks in the group that help other members out with different issues that they have. I mean, we have, our legal department. We have Nick Deutschman in the letter writing campaign department, corporate communications.
I have a question, Nick. Being that we don't have anybody with a law degree in the legal department, I don't know if we can say it's the legal department. So can we say it's the illegal department?
We could. Yeah, we could say it's the illegal department, but then they're going to build a wall around us, and we don't want that. So
all right,
what's going to happen is when we move into the office, they're going to end up stacking a big wall in front of my office. So we'll just go with victims legal advocate or our legal department, even though, and hey, we state in letters, this is not official legal counsel. This does not replace any advice that you can get from an attorney that's barred in your state. I mean, even if we did have an attorney working in the office, it would just be for one state, unless we have 50 attorneys, and there goes our whole budget. So, not going to happen. But I mean, there are legal advocates out there, and hey, I don't have a legal degree, but the only thing I could do is advise what the law is and push people in the right direction to empower them to file a complaint, walk them through how to file a complaint, and the best route to take if action's needed. The only difference is I just can't sit there and represent them in a courtroom. And that's pretty much what advocates are there for, is to support the victim with whatever the issue is, whether it's, civil rights or medical disability rights or even, domestic violence or anything else. There are advocates that are set up through the court system that can support a victim of a particular crime, which discrimination typically can be, in the context that it's used in, and advise them and give them all the resources they need and help them, in engaging with an attorney or going through the court system and guiding them through certain processes. And that's pretty much what we're there for. We never at any point say that we're attorneys.
I also believe strongly in the fact that the larger our group gets, the easier our challenges will become, because if you only have 127 people in your group, you're not going to get very far. Where we're at with the 17,000, it's a good start, but a lot of people will say, well, you only have a small community, but if we can somehow kick that up to 6 figures and eventually 7 figures, at 7 figures, people will definitely take us seriously. At 6, there will be many people that will. Where we're at now, we still have a decent chance, but there's safety in numbers.
Yeah, and the more we have, the more recognized it'll be. The larger we look on the map, and just different things that we can do to gain that attention. And if anybody out there is listening, join our Facebook group. But keep in mind, this is not a fetish community, so this is not a foot picture sharing, get your rocks off type community. And we're here to educate and empower. Spread the message that bare feet are legal. And we have support for people that run into issues that are discriminated against and all that. We're coming down to the bottom of the hour. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have more with proof, some of our callers. We're going to be answering some of your hate and fan mail. So definitely stick around. And want to be a part of the show, 319-527-6208. I'm Nick Pierce with my co-host, Proof. You're listening to the Barefoot is Legal radio show. Stay tuned. Got to pay some bills? Or send us money. We'll go ad-free. We'll be right back.
Hey, Freedomists, join me, Proof Negative, weeknights, 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific, as we fight the New World Order together, right here on Freedomizer Radio, your exclusive home of the Proof Negative Show.
Solutions to delusions. How do you do this? Well, join me every Friday night on the Delusion Solution Radio Show from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time and 9 to 12 midnight Eastern Time right here on the Freedomizer Network, where we will be discussing and discerning the times by making sense of current events and bringing to light much-needed topics. Our calling number is 347-324-3704 to listen in. Watching with your ears and listen with your eyes. I'm your host, Tara Dawn, and I'll see you there.
Hi, everyone. This is the Rose Colombo. Be sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10:30 to noon Pacific Daylight Time and 1:30 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Justice Club on Freedomizer Radio. Grab a snack, grab a latte, grab a friend, or grab a stranger. I've been on the front lines for 25 years, and I've been labeled as the crusader for equal rights by the media many times. So join my crusade on the Justice Club at Freedomizer Radio every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10:30 to noon Pacific Daylight Time and 1:30 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Are you barefooters out there looking for a new place to shop, eat, or save? Are you sick of paying full price? Would you like to save money at the places you enjoy most? Well, here's a popular savings book that is full of coupons catered to your local area. It's called Save Around. This book is full of exclusive discounts to help you save money around your town. Yes, that's Save Around. You will save money at restaurants, department stores, on cars, even flowers. When I take my family out, there are 7 of us. The average meal was about $110 to $140. Last time I took them out, and I'm holding a copy of the receipt right now, right here. The check was $120. With the Save Around book, our meal cost us $82 at a place we go to quite often. Who knew? And there are a few places we found that we're going to check out. Here's what you can do. If you want to save that much money, view the books in your area before you buy. You can go to freedomizerradio.com and barefootislegal.org. Just click on the city, and within a few days, you will be saving money around your town with your new Save Around book. Go to freedomizerradio.com or barefootislegal.org. Click on your town and start saving money now. Alrighty, and welcome back to the Barefoot is Legal Radio Show. To be a part of the show today, 319-527-6208 is the number. 319-527-6208. Press 1 to be a part of the show. Also, our chat room is open at freedomizerradio.com. Hope you enjoyed those commercials there. Again, if you want us to go commercial free so you don't have to listen to them anymore, feel free to send us a ton of money. A ton. Cash. And we're going back to Proof is with us, co-hosting in the studio today.
Yes, and I was just saying off air that when you say a ton of money, we do have a scale here, so it will get weighed.
Yes, it will get weighed. And a receipt for your tax deduction will be issued accordingly. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So with that in mind, I wanted to just hit a few birthday shout-outs to at least a couple of our frequent contributors. Alicia Hardiman, who is also our station manager at Freedomizer. It's her birthday today. And Nick Deutschman had a birthday a couple days ago.
Saw that.
It's nice to have our admin community. And Erin James, who we have no clue if she's going to rejoin us here on the show or not, but she was a former host, and she's part of our group. I just wanted to throw a shout-out there, and hopefully she'll pick up the bat signal and rejoin us at some point. But I wanted to share that, and I also wanted to share some sad news that we lost one of our frequent contributors, Michelle Goodman, this week.
Yes, that was sad.
No one knows
Very
what
tragic.
happened at all.
Yeah, it's still a mystery.
Yeah, she was hoping to help us get the word out this spring, and, well, we'll have to hopefully go another direction, I suppose. But, yeah, she left us at age 48, which I was very sad about. Yeah,
that was very tragic, and, she has some close friends that live locally in our group, too. So we've been getting some updates, and, it is very sad. And, of course, we send condolences to the family and friends and all that, on behalf of BIL, Freedomizer Radio, and the whole crew here. It is very sad whenever something like that happens, especially so young. And the mystery is still unsolved as to what was going on. I know in my brief time conversations with her, she was having issues with a food store, and they were threatening to fire her friend if she went in there. And we're about to pull the trigger on some action. And now she's no longer with us. So, it's very sad. Still don't know what the cause was. But, of course, we'll definitely keep everybody updated in our group because it is a closed group. I don't think we need to go too into detail on the radio if, we respect the privacy and all that of the family at this point. And definitely very sad. And sorry to see her go. And, on some other news, we got sad news, we got good news, 3 birthdays, 1 death. Gee, Dave, great.
Yeah, but the best news, of course, is
it is what it is.
We're way back on the upswing, and I've been working my butt off to find all the alternative markets to get our word out, and hopefully next week at some point we can start getting some interviews done, because I'm trying to put those requests in, so if any of us are available to spread the word and share, then it'll happen.
Yeah. And, we'll definitely, we also have some pretty good interviews coming up. Nothing confirmed yet, so I don't want to mention them yet, but we have doing quite a bit of reaching out as far as different organizations, different companies, different individuals, authors and stuff like that, that'll eventually be part of our show. And we always post on both the Barefoot page and the group in Barefoot is Legal with that information weekly as it develops and as it comes up. And we also have questions and hate mail as usual and fan mail. You had an interesting one, though, we were talking about during the break. You had one of our members in the group. It was kind of funny, their post about members in Texas and Connecticut. Was that am I accurate on that, or you know best?
Yeah, I don't have it memorized here, but I did have one of our members that lives in Connecticut that said, "Hey, Proof, I see you are focusing on members from everywhere, and you're not focusing on where I live, which is Connecticut. So how is it that if you grab members from Texas and Idaho, how does that benefit me? I don't live in those states. I think you should refocus your energy and find a better direction." And Nick, I think you can answer this one for me. since I answered in the group, but for those of us who are big picture people, I figured maybe you can help them because, well, obviously you're a different person.
Yeah, I get, you have your response and proof my response to that. First of all, if you're in Connecticut and you want us to find members for you in Connecticut, first of all, they need to be the ones that find the members. They're the ones that recruit in Connecticut. You're in Vegas, I'm in Ohio. I mean, that's just, reality. And members are scattered through all over the place. I mean, does this guy really expect us to just jump in the Barefoot is Legal van and just abduct people from one section of the country and drop them off in the middle of Connecticut for him? I mean, what do we do? Just kidnap them, take their shoes, and throw them in the middle of Connecticut? Just so he's happy? I mean, that's crazy.
Possibly, but I'm not looking through the phone book or my Rolodex here, thinking what cities can I have a member in. I'm trying to grow the group as a whole. And I look at it this way. I used to own a small chain of comedy clubs back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And the comics, I would always tell them, it's your job to promote yourself as a comedian. It's my job to promote the comedy club. It's both of our jobs to get butts in the seats here. And
exactly.
If neither of us or just one of us does not do our job, then it's considered a fail. So if you want local members, you have to go out there and pound the pavement. I'm going to go out there and grab anybody USA or anybody worldwide that I can. If you want a local chapter, you have to be the one that helps get organized. I can't do everything, unfortunately.
So I guess I'm driving the van then?
I guess.
All right. Do we have any Jersey barefooters out there that are familiar with this whole, live around the Meadowlands area? Maybe we can, grab some people. If anybody does, call in, see if, Tony Scartuccio wants to give us a call, see if maybe we can work something out. Grab a couple people from one place, take their shoes, drop them off in Connecticut for this guy. I feel sorry for him. He sounds lonely.
Yeah, but then again, you have people that are small-minded though, and there's people that have been in our group previously that say things like, "Well, that's great that you want to have get-togethers in all these cities, but I live here in whatever city I'm in, and I don't need your help because our town has 3,000 people, and I have 2 stores that I know I can always go into." And 1 store I can go into as long as the manager's not there.
Okay.
And we're all not going to move to a specific location just for that. And I'm here to grow a movement. I'm not here. See, there's people that are here for the "what is me" movement. I'm here for the "what about us" movement.
Yeah. So we have in Connecticut, they need us to abduct people to give them company and take their shoes so they just show up there. And we also have another group or another philosophy where I guess we need to be traveling gypsies. So we can't just use the van anymore. Yeah. Now we need a whole wagon and caravan to go all over the country. And what? I mean, run around with tambourines in our hands here? I mean, what are they thinking? I mean, we're just going to load up on a caravan and, all the barefooters are just going to travel around and, hey, you know what? Maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe a tour bus or something to promote awareness. But, need a much bigger venue than just a little 4,000 count town for this audience. Oh, boy, when this sideshow comes rolling into town, folks, that'll be fun.
But can you elaborate more on how the numbers will benefit somebody in Texas if we grab 12 members that just randomly happen to live in Miami? How does that benefit the people that live in New Orleans if we're grabbing people in Florida and Michigan?
Oh, okay. You want me to do the math on that?
Just give an explanation because maybe somebody is upset because or they just don't understand. So I'm just trying to help people, and I figured I figure I'll go legit for this and just try to give the reasoning for people so that it's more understood.
Got it. Okay. I think I got this then. So if you have, we'll say, 1,000 people in Texas that are barefooters, and you have one person in Connecticut that is a barefooter, and you have, we'll say, 1,000 people in Connecticut that are not barefooters. So now if the person in Connecticut complains enough about the people in Texas, okay, about having too many barefooters over there, we need to redistribute that. So we get out the Barefoot is Legal ban, we abduct some people in Texas, replant them in Connecticut. Now, what are the chances of this happening? Well, if you take the square root of the hypothesis of all this other stuff that we can imaginary make up and pretend we're doing math, divide that by pi, it means that this guy in Connecticut is lonely. He's in the wrong group. He needs a dating service. I mean, honestly. And then maybe he can join a foot fetish community. And this way he can find someone in Connecticut that he can tickle their feet or something. Not what we're about. So therefore, who cares? Does that make sense?
Well, I was trying to get you to give the actual reason or the actual way it helps. I was trying to. Okay. Yeah, we already went through the comedy portion of it.
That's a much easier answer then. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it just doesn't. Because the people in Texas can be barefoot. One guy in Connecticut can be barefoot, but if he actually gets out there and shares the group, shares the shares his lifestyle and talks about it, then that would create more members.
Right.
I mean, you can't just sit in your room and think that everything's just going to grow around you and everything's going to be where you want it and everybody's going to be where you want them.
Well, one of my main things I always say is activism is a team sport.
And file cabinets will fall on your foot, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that one. That's still my favorite.
Oh, I had a friend of mine that, I'm loosely looking for a new day job. I don't have to go anywhere, but if there's a better position, I'm willing to look at it. And they offered me a job, but they said, you can wear whatever shoes you want. However, we got a memo that came out again 3 weeks ago, and they actually started suspending people over it, that you have to keep your shoes on at all times, even while at your desk. And that's because there could be glass and staples all over the floor. And so I brought up that company Gusto that deals with workers' compensation, and they don't even allow them in the building. And they're still trying to tell me how it's still illegal and that it's for the good of the company. But if you want to wear flip-flops, just don't put your toes over the straps, because then that's where the insurance will come in.
The shark-infested rugs are going to gnaw it off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like as soon as you dip your arm over the side of the boat, the sharks are going to bite it off. Same thing with a toe on the carpet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, even though it's $1 more an hour, I'm declining that good offer.
Yeah. You know, boss, I didn't know radio paid that good.
Yeah, I think everybody here knows I keep a day job outside of Freedomizer and of course this.
Oh, that's
obviously a big mission would be to make this a full-time job and tour the country and get people talking and coordinating events and having guest speakers and such, and that would legitimately be a full-time job.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if we start taking people from one state and putting them in other states, so that we distribute the membership. You know, we'll start with Connecticut.
So I look at this as a necessity to have an office and actual employees. Just think that a lot of what we have as far as activism goes, none of us get paid for this. Most people say they'll do something and then you expect them to do something and they don't step up. And that's just par for the course. You get 10 people that say, hey, I want to do this, and one will show up. But if they're getting paid, say, $12 an hour or something, they'll show up and they'll punch in and they'll do their job.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. You can't – obviously, I know you're here, Deutschman's here, a bunch of other people are out doing stuff. But as a whole, people will say, I'll do something. You can't even get people to post a meme on their Facebook wall. So how
True.
are they going to be community organizers?
But, going back to that wage you want to pay people, Proof, the guy in Connecticut, we can actually, instead of paying that wage, we can replace barefoot people with barefoot robots for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can have a whole barefoot little robot army. I think that's a lot easier than trying to abduct people from Texas, drag them to Connecticut, and then we won't have to pay them a wage to show up.
Okay, so are they going to require robots to wear shoes, I guess? I don't know.
No, robots are very tough. You really can't, you don't want to go up against a robot. Maybe Chuck Norris will, but, I bet if there were robots, people would back down pretty quick. But,
Well,
but
if you see the stuff DARPA puts out there, some of those are pretty crazy.
True. But our main job is to empower people.
Yes, not
to live
robots.
the barefoot lifestyle, not robots. So that is what this group is about. So go to barefootislegal.org. If you want to be a part of the show, 319-527-6208. Press 1 to be on the air with us. And for those 15 calls that have a lot of hate mail to share with us, or not hate mail, but hate calls, we just bumped you all off the switchboard just now. We don't have enough time for you idiots, so we just got rid of a bunch of them. We were screening them out. So we want to keep this a nice broadcast. No need to go on to some crazy rants, and we're not going to tolerate your hate on our airwaves. But if you have nice calls, you can feel free to join us. But our group is pretty much here. I mean, we give our members, a lot of support. We have our group. We have our letter writing campaigns. We have our emotional support. We have all kinds of stuff. Members, our own HR and complaint department when it comes to other members, if they think that something's wrong. We police our group to make sure that, this is an open forum for people that legitimately want to live a barefoot lifestyle. Keep it a non-fetish community, which is very important, so people feel comfortable sharing their experiences. And we are here to empower them to dispel the myths of living a barefoot lifestyle. And, people get challenged every day when it comes to laws, rules, policies, you name it. And we have proved them false many times on the show. And Proof, you do an amazing job at running that group, the website, and everything. To make sure that this is a place for people to go and we can help them overcome these obstacles and objections that they have. So we are here to empower people to do that.
Well, I try, and some people just think that it's my job to do. In essence, being the CEO, I have a lot of responsibility, but it's my job to bring in as many people as I can and to promote the group, and it's everybody else's, as far as being advocates, to go out there and even if you can just tell a few people every year, if you can bring one person in the group every season, so 4 people a year, one in the winter, one in the spring, one in the summer, one in fall,
mm-hmm.
I don't think that's that hard to every couple months just see if a couple of your friends are interested in joining us. It shouldn't be that difficult, but for most people it is.
Yeah. And, we have one of our advocates, Kevin. He wants to get on the air. I want to bring him on for a little bit before we wrap up for the day. He has something to add to this. And, Kevin, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Yo, I was listening to the whole show, and I totally forgot to press 1. I just realized that 2 minutes ago.
Good. Nick even called you out by name, I thought.
Yes, he did. Like I said, I totally forgot. It's like 10 minutes into the left in the show. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to press 1. I don't believe
Kevin,
that. I'm like,
Kevin,
oh my
Kevin,
goodness.
you call every week. You think you'd know how to do this by now?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Except for the weekends that I have to work, and I'm too busy to even pick up my phone because I'll be at work. But hey, duty calls when you got people to feed.
That's true. So what you got going on in the Barefoot world today?
Well, anyway, I'm gonna try to make this real quick. Cause I posted this. Well, you know how some people still say that going barefoot is dirty, nasty, and gross or whatever. So I just had this thought. What about the beach? Okay, the beach. It seems to be okay to go barefoot at the beach, right? But at the same time, the beach is nothing but dirt, all dirt, right? So yeah, people do spit, on the concrete on the sidewalk, but people also spit on the dirt and throw trash at the beach. So how come? So what makes going barefoot at the beach any better than on the sidewalk?
Well, here's a very interesting point about that, Kevin. Yeah, no. Here's a very interesting point about the beach. See, the beach is sand, not just necessarily dirt, but sand gets turned into glass. So technically you're walking around on a whole bunch of broken glass. And all the hidden things that are in the sand is what could worry people. I mean, everything from sharp seashells to, I've seen people throw baby diapers down in the sand and just cover them over. So, I mean, whereas walking on the beach seems to be more acceptable and people think it's a lot safer, not necessarily true. And that's a very good point you mentioned.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I mean, and I guess it just still goes I guess we're still having the debate on is bare hands more filthy and disgusting than bare feet? Going at the beach or the pool or whatever is to me is really no different than just walking on the sidewalk. Like I said earlier. Yeah, people do spit in the grass, on the dirt. You know what I'm saying? But on both sides, whether the dirt or the sidewalk, is dried up.
Yeah. And as far as it being cleaner in a pool or in an ocean or something like that, I mean, even in the 80s, they had the thing where there were hypodermics washing up on the shores, hypodermic needles, washing up on the beaches. And, you go into a pool. I mean, come on. You're swimming around in every baby's pee and everything else, and kids and all that. They all pee in the pool. So I'm still trying to figure out the logic of how that's cleaner. I don't know. So,
I think people see. I think. Yeah, well, see, if you think about it, people pee in the pool because the pool got chlorine, and I guess the chlorine is supposed to kill the germs or whatnot. That's my best guess.
Now, people don't pee in the pool because it has chlorine in it, Kevin. They pee in the pool because they just pee in the pool. They don't want to get out of the pool. And they just want to make everybody else swim around in this. I mean, it's like that South Park episode. Oh, no, the pee is a fire.
Well,
I mean,
I don't even watch South Park, but...
Oh, great episode on water parks and pee. So. Oh, yeah, how is it that an amusement park... They give you problems because it's safer if you have shoes on. Because if the roller coaster flies off its tracks, the flip flop is going to save your life. But yeah, in a water park, shoes don't prevent you from drowning or something. I don't know.
But check this out. There's a place out in Riverhead in Long Island called Splish Splash, and they have a sign that says shoes are required to be worn at all times.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
At a water park.
At a water park. Some things, I don't know. The logic out there is just absolutely crazy. And
I would love to see if we can get one of our Long Island correspondents to ask them about that, because if I want them to tell us it's a health code violation, and so maybe they'll enforce police at the local beach. So they'll have police going all up and down the Atlantic Ocean looking for people that are not wearing shoes while walking in the beach.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. Lifeguards or something.
Well, you know what? On the other side, one of our members sent me a pair of, actually 2 pairs of barefoot sandals that they were making, and it's trying to get see if somebody would make some for men, which is really hard to come by. And I know a lot of men probably don't be like, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
So basically, I've been testing them out, and I'm starting to like them a little bit.
Well, that's good. Barefoot sandals are one thing. I don't know how they work on men. Definitely a good topic to get into next week. We are out of time, though. Check out barefootislegal.org. Proof, everybody, thanks for being a part of the show. Tyler, Kevin, thank you for calling in. Until next time, everybody, we are out of time. So thanks for sticking around. Do you want to live a happy and healthy barefoot lifestyle? Join Barefoot is Legal Saturdays, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Time to learn your rights to live a barefoot lifestyle. There are no laws against bare feet in public, and we are here to dispel the myths and empower you to stand up for your rights. Join full-time barefooter and victims legal advocate Nick Pierce on Freedomizer Radio for the Barefoot is Legal Radio Show Saturdays, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. And check out barefootislegal.org.